Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Muambi International Network. I'm going to host for you this evening Dr. Jude Oboh. Dr. Jude Oboh is a Dutch citizen from Nigeria, living now in Atlanta, in the US. Dr. Jude Oboh, welcome to the great interview. Good evening.
Good evening, Alphonse, Mr. Muambi. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for your time. And you are now in Atlanta. Can you tell us, Atlanta, what is that for people who do not about it?
Well, Atlanta is one of the states in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
On the eastern side, you have is a big cultural place, the home to Martin Luther King,
Mm-hmm.
and above all, the home to international organizations and businesses like, for example, the CNN headquarters is here in Atlanta, but as well as, the Coca-Cola. This is home to Coca-Cola, just to mention but a few.
Mm-hmm. So you are drinking a lot of Coca-Cola there?
No, not at all. If I have to drink Coca-Cola, it has to be without sugar. But unfortunately, it's full of sugar, so I don't drink that.
So, as you say, Atlanta is very, very important. That's the city of Martin Luther King, the city of the fight. Can you tell us about the elections? What is the situation in Atlanta and also at national level?
Yes, it's a big deal. You remember when we talk of the civil rights movement, it's all started here. Martin Luther King and Lewis that died a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been a very big center, and politically, it's one of the, say, most important places in America.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta is a place or a state of black and white, so there is that tension, and this election is particularly important because of what we have seen in the last 4 years. This is my second year here, and what we have seen in the last 4 years of Donald Trump, it made this election particular in the sense that people are saying on the one side, they don't want 4 more years of Donald Trump, and on the other side, the supporters of Donald Trump are saying, they want 4 more years.
But who are the supporters of Donald Trump and who are the supporters of Joe Biden?
Well, the supporters of Donald Trump, as everybody has seen, is a conservative when drawing from the Republican Party, is a base. The extremists, most likely, they are saying the extremists are supporting Donald Trump. Well, but Donald Trump, his base is more also made up of Republicans, but also people who are not affiliated too much with the Republican Party as party members, but people who support one way or the other what Donald Trump is doing.
Mm-hmm. And what is he doing for instance, for the state of Atlanta, where you are?
Well, yeah, Atlanta has been originally and mostly a Republican state. So the Democrats are hoping this time to flip it after Clinton did that, So being a Republican state, it has all the values of Republican. What is important here is that when you look at that, it's been a city of black and white. If you take the last polls or the reality coming out these days, you see that more white people vote for Donald Trump here, and more minorities and black people vote for Biden. So on the economic side, it's very important. And Donald Trump election was all about his economic achievement in the last almost 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
While on the other side, Biden has been hitting on the COVID, the importance of COVID and the consequences of COVID and the recklessness of handling the COVID by the government of Donald Trump. So he is building more on inclusive government, while on the other side, there is a sort of divisiveness that has arrived from Donald Trump's government in the last 4 years.
Let's go back to the elections between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. We are now 3 days away from the elections date.
Yes.
Who is going to win?
At this moment in time, there is still there is no clear winner or loser yet. The poll is too close to call, as they say it here in America, meaning that for the meantime, take for example at a state level like Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
Biden is now on the lead with about 1,000 votes,
Mm-hmm.
but there are still about something close to about 8,000 or more votes that are still has to be counted. But Biden is on the lead right now. And on the national level, Biden is still on the lead. What mainstream television are showing here, televisions like the CBS or the NBS or the PBS, they are all showing a winning for, or the how it is right now, 253 for Biden and 214 for Mr. Trump. So you can say that Biden is on the lead right now, but the situation still is too close to call, and they are expecting more clarity sometime this evening that Georgia will, must have concluded the whole counting, and then it will be clearer who is going to win Georgia State. And the same thing is happening on the national level, because places like Pennsylvania and Nevada and Arizona, they are still too close to call. So all these are all hanging. It will become clearer as more votes are counted.
But what can you tell us about the allegations of Donald Trump that there is a kind of a big fraud, electoral fraud?
Yeah. Those are claims. Those are baseless claims, what we're hearing now. And the public opinion here, they are showing that it's a baseless claim, because they have asked Donald Trump to come out with facts, show facts and prove if you have anything that shows irregularity in one way or the other, as he's claiming. So when you listen to experts' comments on the TV and the news, it is all baseless. He has filed a couple of legal issues at the court, and two of them has been, the judges have looked at it and said, well, there are no claims. You don't have any proof. When you have a serious claim, bring out the proof and we will go ahead and look at it. But he didn't. So people are saying right now that all those might be just blundering. Like as he is used to saying, he says everything that he wants. So they are baseless claims. Right now, that's what the public opinion is saying and the experts are saying.
But in your point of view, is it possible to have fraud, electoral fraud, in the US?
No, the US is a country of law and order on that sense, and they are showing a great deal of transparency when you see the way they're handling the election, quite unlike what we are used to in Africa, for instance. Here you have, in each places where they're counting the votes right now, you have like a Republican and a Democrat, supervising, seeing the counting, observing the counting, but also a neutral person, that is the staff of the institution, standing also there. So, and above all, there are cameras hanging everywhere.
Mhm.
So, all these are like showing that when if everything goes wrong, these people will see it. Imagine when you have a Republican present and a Democrat present at the counting place. How can it go wrong? How can someone do any fraudulent thing? There is the camera, assuming that those two people do not see it, and the third person also did not see that, then the cameras are there. You can also run the cameras and review the whole thing. A second point, another important point is the people that are counting, the counting of the vote itself. There are people that have, before they were recruited, the system has run a background check. In other words, they are known to be trustworthy people, you know, and there are criminal liabilities if someone tries in one way or the other to through a corrupt system or to undermine or influence the election in any way at all. So, meaning that one can be criminally held responsible for that. So, combined with these measures, there are less and less and less possibility that election might be rigged or corruption will be the order of the day.
But if it is like you say, all the mechanisms you talked about, because in Africa the same things happen. You have representatives of all political parties and everything, but the final is always something else. But if you are saying that, how can be that Donald Trump is talking about fraud?
Yes, in the way we have
Is that
people know.
political statement, maybe?
Yes, people see that as a political statement. And knowing Donald Trump in the last 4 years, the thing is this. Here's the thing. If people know Donald Trump right now. 4 years ago, he was not known. But now people are conversant with the rhetorics and the lies and that his anger and his self-centeredness pushes him to demonize the others. I mean, talk bad about people, call names, and curse people. So they are used to that. America, in a way, used to that. But also, when you hear Biden is also the unifying person and saying Donald Trump need no introduction. So what he's urging people is to stay calm and be focused, let every vote be counted. And know that in most of the election places, just like in Georgia or in Pennsylvania, for example, here, the rules were made by the governor and the government, which is Republican. So they set the rules of the counting and which a part of the votes must be counted first. So Biden has told people, go and mail your votes, Why Donald Trump was saying, no, don't mail. It's a fraudulent act. And at the end, he urges people to go and vote. So in one way or the other, he is undermining the system that he also put in place by his political parties.
And you are, from what I said, you are Dr. Jude Oboh, Dutch citizen, but your origin is Nigeria. What can Nigeria learn from this chaotic election of America? Because now, 3 days, maybe 1 week away from the elections, we don't know yet who is the president of the US, the elected president.
Yes, first of all, is the situation. The situation got different because of the COVID, but also that can be reflected in the two political parties. The Democratic Party and Biden has been saying there are patriotics based on patriotism, that is giving people the facts, the COVID, plain it, pump and plain, in plain language.
But what can Africa, Nigeria, Congo, Ivory Coast, what can they learn from the US elections?
From the US election, first of all, is the meaning of democracy.
Wait a minute. Regarde un peu là. Je ne suis plus là.
Quand tu as transféré, ça devait être passé. Quand tu as transféré, il est passé.
Transférer quoi? Je pas transféré.
Non? Ok.
Non. C'est tout de suite. Ouais. Ok, c'est bon?
Maintenant?
Oui. What can Nigeria, Africa, in general, Congo, let's say Ivory Coast, Guinea Conakry, they had elections some weeks ago. What can they learn from the elections in the US?
Yes, first of all, I think that African society, for example, Nigeria or be any other country, should understand learn the democracy, what is democracy and how does it work. We have seen that it's one man, one vote, but there are a lot of variables in democracy. First of all, understand what is democracy. Second, that transparency, is very much important, and organization and seriousness, and tell the people the good message and let them follow.
But
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I mean, the meaning of democracy, we have seen that, it's not, yes, it's one man, one vote, but also giving people a voice. But we have seen that, secondly, if you look at Donald Trump and Biden, Democratic Party and Republican Party, two systems. In the two systems, there are a lot of variables. People vote according to their interests. For instance, it's not only, you have seen the two bases vote, minorities are there, but the minorities have also a voice. If put together, the minorities could determine this vote or determine who wins the presidential election in this time and day. So democracy is a very diverse term. For Africa, we really need to go back down and try to model our own democracy and realize that it is all about interest of a group, interest of a nation, interest of dominant groups, but interest of minorities. But even at the same time, interest of individuals. It is all part and component of this democracy and voting. People take that into account when they go to vote.
And talking about interest, what can you tell us about Florida? We see that Florida was Donald Trump place with Hispanics. Can you tell us why all the Hispanics voted for Trump?
Yes, from all what I have observed and what I've seen talking with Hispanics, you're talking about the Hispanics now, which can be whether they are Mexicans or Cubans or Venezuelans. In Florida, in the case of Florida, for example, you have the minorities, men that are voting for Donald Trump. They have the power to determine who could be elected, and they've shown it by letting Donald Trump win. The minorities, again, when people talk of Hispanics or minorities are a very big group. Take, for instance, the Hispanics. The Hispanics are in Florida. You've seen the weight shown by the Cubans, who are mostly, who buy the message from Donald Trump that Biden is a socialist and he has a socialist agenda. And these people carry the grievances from Cuba, the grievances from Castro that drove them out of their island because of socialist revolutions. So they have that grievances. And when they come here, they embrace the Republican Party that is very hard on Cuba, that wants that promotes capitalism and not socialism. So those people align with the view of the Republican Party. You know, when you talk of socialism, they buy that immediately. So Biden has a problem. Biden did not, campaign much in stimulating or, energizing them to vote for him. Give them enough reason for vote for him. Likewise, when you look at the the Venezuelans have grudges. They have grudges arising from the political situation in their country. We have known what Maduro is doing now, and a lot of Venezuelans are disenfranchised. They're disenfranchised with what is going on with their country. They see their country deteriorating, and they see Donald Trump as the person who is against Maduro and who could save their country. So they give him here, they support him unconditionally based on that interest.
In fact, they are against Maduro.
Yes, they are against Maduro because they see their country deteriorating and they hold Maduro responsible for that. And who is here against Maduro? Donald Trump, the Republican Party that is outspoken about.
You have the other group, that's Mexicans.
You have the other group that are Mexicans. So this election, what Africa can learn is also that apart from a group is national interest is comprises of group interest, and within group itself there are diversities, there are differences within a group.
But what is the reason why Mexicans voted for Trump?
Yes, the Mexicans, not all Mexicans, but when you come to a huge country like Mexico, of course you have subcultures, different people who feel different ways, depending on their interests. The other interest in Florida, for instance, you see people hack on the economy. The economy is important. Mexicans are mostly entrepreneurs who have their small-scale businesses, whether it is in anything I call plumbers, electricians, building the road, building the houses, or even picking agricultural produce. Mexicans are much represented there. So they have their own businesses. What is important for them is, what? Economy. If the economy is going good, and Donald Trump has demonstrated or is saying that the economy under him was better in the last 4 years. So people buy that. Depending on their interest, a Mexican can vote for Donald Trump because he sees economic improvement and growth as the main factor. Another factor why a Mexican in other states or in other way could vote for Biden or against Biden is because the Mexicans are Christians. Christians here are like, they do not buy into the policies that legalize abortion, for instance. Most of them are families, that is man and wife with their children. Some of them have 6 children, 4 children, 5 children, and they stick together. So in their sense, abortion is not okay. It doesn't boil down with them. Being Christians and having large families, they think that it is against. And of course, when you talk about LGBTQ, that's lesbians and transgender and other, they don't, but most of them don't buy into that. It's a problem for them. So this is also another important factor that push people towards voting for the Republican Party and for Donald Trump, even if they are not Republican Party members. That same problem, Africa could learn from this, because what I've noticed talking with people and listening on the mainstream news and listening to various views that exist on this, even within the African context.
Tell us about the African context, the Africans living in the US, who are Americans. I'm not talking about Afro-Americans, but the Africans like Nigerians, Congolese, Senegalese living in the US. Do they vote for Trump or for Biden?
Quite interesting and a very diverse group.
Take for instance, Nigeria.
Take, for instance, Nigerians. Here, there are a lot of Nigerians in Atlanta, and they come out. They come out, they make their voice heard. in the sense that there is always discussions among Nigerians wherever we are. They are saying, to my surprise, you see that divergence again. So, meaning that some are saying and actually have said that they voted for Donald Trump. Why should a Nigerian vote for Donald Trump, an African vote for Donald Trump? When you look at the surface, it might sound odd, but when you go deeper into that, try to understand the reasons, you will see various reasons. For example, several people told me they are Donald Trump supporters and or they voted Donald Trump because of what? Religious sentiments. They said they are against abortion, the same reason again, or above all, they are against LGBT. They don't buy that at all. That it is against nature, is against Christian, and they don't like that. And Donald Trump is against that, you know? So, no, Donald Trump is against that, while the the Democratic Party is an inclusive government. For everybody is okay. There's not, we have to diversify, we have to not discriminate based on race or religion. Secondly, another point, interesting point, is within the religion itself, they are saying abortion. They see abortion as something not good. I talked to a pastor, several pastors actually kick that very strongly, saying that they support. Sorry, let me put this off just a minute.
Yeah, take your time.
No. Sorry about that. I'll put it up. Let me remove the volume. Hold on. Otherwise, they'll come back later. Just a minute, please. Suka, I'll call you back, please. I'll call you back. Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
When we were talking about before going online, you were talking about the Yoruba group also. They have their own interest. Why they are voting for Trump, for instance?
Exactly. The Nigerian interest. I was talking about a pastor. Several pastors told me they're against abortion, and for that reason, they will vote Donald Trump because Donald Trump is against abortion. Being pastors in the church, I try to understand what's in their mind, and deep in normal conversations, it came out that hey, I cannot go and be preaching in my church that abortion is okay. So my members of the church think that abortion is not all right. No, they are Christians. So they will vote for Donald Trump. I tell them to vote for Donald Trump. How can you be killing kids? When you see that from this point of view, it justifies their reasons for voting for Donald Trump. At the end of the day, when we look, the pastors, modern day pastors, they hide under one
back
reason.
Home in Nigeria, there were pastors praying for Trump. I don't know if you have seen that.
Oh yes. What is behind that? There are several things behind that. Of course, abortion is important. Of course, they said abortion is okay, it's not okay. It is a killing of mothers, of children. But away from that, don't forget that these present-day pastors are motivated by, entrepreneurship. There is the church or the pastor connected with collecting money in the church. Don't forget that.
Why is that important? When you see at Nigeria with the situation there, you have seen the young people fighting with the government of Nigeria, and the pastors, the people, the Nigerians in the US voting for Trump because of abortion, because they don't see all that.
Some Nigerians in the US said they will vote for Trump and actually did. And most Nigerians do not vote for Trump here. But there are several reasons. As I was saying, One reason is that you can understand based on the religious sentiments that are on the abortion. And also another reason is that, well, the pastors need to energize his base, his micro base in the church. After all, what is important is that people come and donate to the church.
That's clear. That's clear. But
that the pastor can visit.
Let's talk about the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, secondly, sorry, there's another ulterior reason why Nigerians vote for Trump. When you come in terms of Christianity, there is in Nigeria, you have the Boko Haram issue, have shown is what Nigerian sufferings are related to religious beliefs. So most Christians now are saying Donald Trump is outspoken against Muslims. So they wouldn't hesitate to vote for him because he's against Muslims. And Nigeria is going to hell with Boko Haram killing Christians. Secondly, and thirdly, another reason is Donald Trump, those from the Southeast, or some of them have told me Donald Trump is actually talking for Biafrans. So some of them say when we look
Biafra
at the
is a region in Nigeria.
Yes, a region in Nigeria that wants to separate from Nigeria, for instance, because of the ungovernability of Nigeria and the Nigerian state crisis. So some of them have said, if thinking from the Biafra point of view, that they would support Donald Trump. I will vote for him, one person told me. And whether he did, I don't know, but people are free to do what they want. But they took this stand that they will vote for Donald Trump, come what may, because he is the only person that have come for their interests in Nigeria.
Let's talk about the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Can you tell us if all the Afro-Americans voted for Joe Biden?
No, not at all. Away from that. Majority of them, yes. When you look at the situations, for instance, in Georgia right now, they said most Black people vote for Biden. Most, if they're saying about close to 70 or 80%, voted for Biden, and the same 70–80% of white people voted for Trump. So you see that's a clear choice based on Blacks voting for Biden and white people voting for Trump. Why? Because of the rhetoric of people know, like I said earlier, people know Donald Trump right now. People you've known is related to the issues of Black Lives Matter. Donald Trump, it was difficult for him to pronounce that phrase, Black Lives Matter.
How did he pronounce that?
I mean, Black Lives Matter. Donald Trump couldn't say that. He don't say that. He never said that. All the things that has been happening, he never condemned the killing of George Floyd or others. Right here in Atlanta. Why is Black Lives Matter? Because of the brutality they suffer under the police and the social inequality, economic inequality, deprivation, and all that, and the history of America itself. The injustice and the reform of the criminal justice, which is the basis of Black Lives Matter. When you open that, you see the economic chances which Biden is promising right now. They think that, Biden, will provide them or be their savior, and in reforming the criminal justice system, but also in giving Blacks, opening more opportunities for economic advancement.
But you are talking about Joe Biden giving more opportunities to the Afro-Americans, but we have got Obama. He was president.
Yes.
And what did he do for the Afro community, Afro-Americans?
Of course, he did a lot. When you look, we don't take the rhetoric of Donald Trump in condemning and trying to do away with all that Obama has achieved. For the fact that he wants to do away with Obama's achievement, show that Obama achieved a lot, whether it's on the healthcare and all his economic growth and advancement of don't forget that Obama inherited a country that was economically a disaster, that he built it up together with Biden, and Donald Trump inherited that. So this, talking about economic growth in America under Trump, Obama laid the foundation. He handed Donald Trump over an economic situation that was good. Secondly, when you think of great achievements of Obama, talk about those 20-something million people that had health care under him. So it's a great thing. Without having a healthy nation, how can you build a healthy economy? So that is why Donald Trump is labeling him as a socialist. Third is, I think that the great achievement of Obama is to all of us, no matter whether you are African American or African, anywhere we are, or blacks in Holland, Suriname, Antilles, wherever we are, is that the fact that Obama became the president of America is the greatest gift he has given to all of us. We cannot underrate that. It means that we have, however, that we can go so far, so on top. It is doable. It's not a dream, but that dream came true. So it means that the generations to come, children can say, hey, if you do your best, there are the chance that you could achieve. I think that's a great, important thing he did. Obama might have not visited Nigeria, but at least he sent Clinton several times to improve things in Nigeria. He has economically made it possible under the AGOA that products, things made in Africa, Congo, wherever, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, could be sold in America. Whether it's dry food stuff, Afro stores are springing up and down everywhere and selling products directly that can be imported from African countries to here. So let's
talk a little bit about the Black Lives Matter again.
Yeah.
But more about the violence from the police. How can you explain that kinds of violence? We have seen George Floyd, which is a big example, but we have a lot of black Afro-Americans who have been killed by the police. How can you explain that kind of violence?
Yes, and don't forget the history. The violence is the history of America itself. So there is an inherited problem. The slavery, the treatment of slavery, the brutalization of slavery. When you go to the 17th century and 16th, 17th, 18th century, a lot of brutalization happened here. And the CBS, I mean, the PBS, public, one of the local televisions here has all documentaries on that. Blacks were brutalized. Africans were imported here and brutalized for 4 centuries. So that brutalization, when it stopped, basically that the law prevents, there's no segregation anymore under Martin Luther King. We've seen that in the 60s, or middle 60s. Then what we are seeing now is that some elements, took refuge. Some elements of, whether you call them the extremists, whether you call the name Ku Klux Klan or what mentality, that infiltrated into the forces.
Into the police.
Yes, into the police force. It's a mentality. So the law or the rules or policies that allow them, give them discretionary power to be able to doing what they're doing is what is the question now, is what Biden has to do. When Biden talks about criminal justice reform, that is that.
And what will be the reform?
The reform will be like, first of all, getting rid of the bad apples there, making it possible that the police forces, you cannot shock somebody to death. That's what we've seen in the case of Floyd. There are reforms, and states, and those laws and regulations differ from state to state. So several states are waking up now, limiting those reforms, something like choking, or they are talking about breaking into someone's house without an order, like it happened in several incidences. So in the sense of that, these things are happening, first of all, because there are discrepancies in the law. in the regulations that give police excessive power to do that. So combine the powers, reforming the police, and the selection, that means where the police agents have been, the criteria for selection of police agents must change. It must change in the sense that I think there must be a background check of who becomes a policeman in the first instance. Secondly, I think that the police these days should be educated people or have a certain degree of educational orientation towards the services they want to do. You cannot get into the police and be as brutal as you want, protected by a law or regulations that protect you in that sense. Secondly, give the police a good salary.
Okay. Dr. Jude Oboh, what I say, as I said before, you are Dutch citizens. You live now in Atlanta. What is your point of view about Europe, the relationship between Europe and the US under Trump, and maybe now, after some days, maybe some weeks, under Biden?
Yes, as we've seen, the relationship speaks for itself when you talk in terms of what divides Europe, or what the leaders in Europe are saying about Trump. Pulling out of whether it's climate change or the prohibition pushing Europe to pay more, for instance, when it comes
for the NATO.
For the NATO, for instance, which is something when you look on one side, okay, that's fine. Take responsibility of, America should not be the Marshall Plan all the time that saves Europe. Europe, take the responsibility on your own, which is what some people are saying that Donald Trump is right on that. But that didn't start under Donald Trump. It started under Obama already. But Donald Trump took it to the point where it is today that he got European countries to contribute more to the security of their countries. Second is when you look, their relationship is soured because of the interest in America first under Donald Trump, pulling out of environmental policies and treaties. We have seen it from the Paris, to wherever an environment is trying. We have here time after time hurricanes and storms happening, or wildfire happening in California, destroying life and properties, and Donald Trump don't see that. He disputes the experts, and that that is not a problem. So while actually it is a big problem, that has soured the relationship with Europe. I think that Europe should be more outspoken in trying to be and see if, assuming Donald Trump goes further, that they could find a way, as already doing, to take the environment and save the environment on their own. And when you look at the position on the Muslims and the divisiveness with the Muslim countries, on the other hand, he's a big critic of the Muslims, closing borders for Muslims to come inside here. But on the other hand, when it concerns business, he don't mind. He has gone to Saudi Arabia and do all his businesses and sign contracts and everything. So this is double standard, the bigotry. I think Europe should realize, as they are realizing, that the bigotry, one way or the other, supporting America unconditionally under Donald Trump is not viable. It's not sustainable.
Dr. Jude Oboh, this will be the last question. What is the difference between living in the Netherlands and now living in the US, in Atlanta?
Well, first of all, the weather, you've seen it. It's sunny here, The weather is very good, man, and we're advancing in age, and sometimes you start questioning whether the weather is whether we need more sun. So that's the first instance. But when you go deeper, I think that the difference. Holland is good. Holland is a very stable country, economically, socially, politically.
Politically, why do you say that?
Yeah, because when you relate to what is going on in Black Lives Matter, I think Holland has a big stake in it. Holland is one of the causes of why the Black lives should matter. You know, when we go back to slavery and colonialism, we see that Holland has a big part in Africa. He should be talking. He's not
They
talking.
should do more.
Yeah, he's not doing more. He's not talking. He's not accepting responsibilities in that direction. And when we think about, well, the minorities inside Holland, whether you are Surinamer or Antillean or Africans or whoever, we see the marginalization of minorities in the Netherlands as well. So Black Lives Matter should be extended to Holland and what is happening in Holland. Not to see on the symbolic level, for instance, whether you demonize the minorities and Black people especially, and carry over sentiments of slavery on the what's pit and that sort of bullshit that is happening in Holland and justify it. I think the time is over. So I don't, in one way or the other, I see people here celebrating Santa Claus totally in another different.
In which way? In which different way?
I mean, they do not associate that with the slavery and the symbolism of swag pit. This Lord, of Santa Claus and with his slaves, enjoying the past glories that they've enjoyed under slavery. I think that is a big, they are killing us emotionally, and they should stop that. So when I see that, it's the same thing you could see as Black Lives Matter shouting that reform the criminal justice system. So I think that Holland should do that reform and stop demonizing us, Africans in that context. They justify it, but the justifications they are providing is outdated. The UN said that they should stop that and listen more to minorities. Second, opening up a little bit economic opportunities for minorities, that should be encouraged. In Holland, I don't need to tell you this big difference. America, on the other hand, if you're good, America can use you. The opportunities are open here, no matter the differences. When they say there is racism, there is racism everywhere. But the economic opportunities might be here, might be better here.
And you said something, some detail is which is very important. You said if you are good in America, they will use you in the good way. Do you mean that?
What I mean is that the opportunities are there. Of course, it's a bigger country. Of course, you're talking about 300 million people here, and the economy is bigger. But also, they encourage people, Africans, Afro-Americans, to go to school.
They don't do that in the Netherlands.
Of course, we can go to school in the Netherlands, but the economic opportunities are closed. The doors are closed.
Why? Why is that?
I have the feeling that it's closed because, first of all, when people see your surname, Oboh, you are Muambi, and in the job market, in an economy of about 17 million people, they become very selective. But is that selectivity, or is that really an underhidden policy and sentiments that exclude minorities? The workload that is the unemployment in the Netherlands, is more on the allochtone, zeg maar zo.
Dus laten we gewoon nu in het Nederlands praten.
Yeah, okay. So
dus de werkloosheid is heel hoog onder de allochtonen.
We've seen that. Is in the data shows that everywhere. The data show that also in the television series. We've seen that time after time, that the minorities are suffering. They don't have job. Most of them are discriminated at the job level, even if no matter the amount of or the level of education. That is not good in the Netherlands, and that is a factor that makes people say, well, okay, let me go, or let me look for somewhere else where I can be more useful to society.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you well. Thank you very much, Mr. Oboh from Atlanta, Dr. Jude Oboh. I want to thank you very much for your time, for your explanation, for everything you gave to our public of Muambi International Network. Thank you very much. And We will be happy to have you again and again.
Of course, Muambi, thank you for the opportunity for having me, and good luck.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.